Okay, now begins the fun and challenging part of the van build, and we're moving to electrical. We're not exactly setting it up to actually be full and functioning before our trip in September, just because we don't exactly have the funds to do so. But right now we're just getting like our outlets in place, our lights in place, and wires in the wall, but they won't exactly hook up to anything. So this is going to be like half electrical setup. But I'll show you what we're using here. So these are our little puck lights. We have 4 of these. And they're just going to go into our ceiling. We liked them because they were really shallow. We don't have very much room, so this is like perfect size. These are actually like boating lights is what they are. And I'll put a link below. They're off Amazon. And then these 2 wires will connect to those lights. Just 14 gauge wire, red and black. And then we have outlets and light switches. We're going to do 2 separate light switch systems because we'll have 2 lights here above our bed and 2 lights above the kitchenette. So that's why we got this dual one. Outlets, we will have a total of 3 outlets, maybe 4 I believe. One's going to go in our seating area, 1 for our fridge to plug into, 1 that's going to be on top of our countertop so we can plug in like a blender or anything else we need to plug into the kitchen area, and then 1 in we're going to have like a charging cabinet because I do photography and videography and I need somewhere to plug in my drone and camera, yada yada, so we have a whole compartment just for that. And then we just have blue boxes to set these up, and these are really nice because we don't have drywall, but this screwing system here, when I screw it into the wood, this screw will tighten it up and it'll just hold our piece of plywood here because we'll screw it into this plywood, as you can see behind me. It tightens it up so it'll just sit right in there real nice. Come on, go right there. It'll sit right in between that gap. And then this is the wire that we are connecting to our outlets. We just got 25 feet because we're not going to run too far. And then I'll show you where our battery bank is actually going to sit. It's going to be in this whole cabinet underneath here. And then this is going to be that electrical charging station I told you about. So basically we'll have our battery in underneath here. We'll run wires. I'm hoping we can get it up and over the ceiling, but if not, we can run it through the benches and it's fine. But then we'll have our fridge over here and then 2 outlets. So it's kind of nice the way that we set up our bench system. We're able to hide a lot in it. Like, we don't have to put wires through the walls if we don't. We're gonna try, but if we don't have to. And basically for our camping trip in September, we just need it to be for camping, so we don't need the electrical to actually work. But we'll just get it, set up to where we need, and then when we get the funds, we can buy our battery bank, and then, we have another chunk of change, and we can buy our solar panel kit, and then we can actually just start making the progression to get the electrical working, but at least it's set up for now. And eventually we'll get shore power and everything like that. We knew we were going to do this in phases, so our bench system design was nice for what we need. I'm going to start cutting out holes and putting our lights actually where they're going to go in the ceiling, and then marking out where the outlets are going to go, so when John gets off work today he can cut that for me. But I know John's been so overwhelmed with electrical, and I have too, just trying to do our research, and so luckily we have friends who kind of know what they're doing, who have been helping us along the way, but I think we're both overthinking it. I don't think it's as hard as I don't think it's gonna be as hard as it seems. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So literally I'm using scissors to cut this out because John has the utility knives in the truck. So I'm just making do. So what I'm doing here is I I just cut a hole out of our foam here. And then I created like a little channel that our wires will run down, and then it'll run down that gap over to the siding. And then we'll hide it into here, and then we'll run it over, down to the battery. So that's what I'm just gonna keep doing across here.
So I am installing, I've installed a couple lights and the wiring right now. So it's ready to go when we have our battery station. And all I'm doing, it's pretty simple, is I'm connecting red to red, the positive to the positive, black to black, negative to negative. And I am running a series from this light to this light. And then this light will come down and we'll have a light switch that it's connected to. And so it'll be on its own circuit. So this circuit will connect to these two lights. This circuit will connect to those two lights. And it's pretty simple. You just connect wires with your little caps. And after you've spliced the ends with your wire cutters, and then you run the wiring to where it needs to go. And then from there to the battery, or to our charge station and whatever else we have, which we don't have, so we'll set that up and show you how to do that when we have it. So now that I've ensured that these wires are connected, I'm going to run a little more insurance around to protect any loose and open wires, and to make sure that it all stays together. And so, as far as I understand it, how this would work is, since we have our connection here, we've got 3 lines coming in to our light. If something were to happen to this light, it would still be on series to connect to this light, and this light would still work. I think that's how it works. I'm no electrician, so here's our disclaimer.
Do your research.
Do your research. But hopefully this gives you an idea on how to do it, and to not be so intimidated by it like I have been. I don't know why. Well, I know why. If there's one thing that I'm like kind of scared about, it's electrical. Since I don't have much of an idea of what I'm doing, or I have little idea. And yeah, I don't want to be shocked. That sounds awful. But it's not that bad. It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, so for one more time, we have our red and our black coming from the light. We then installed or attached a red and a black. This is then going to our next light, which has 3 wires coming from each end. So one of them comes from the next light, another one is from the previous light, and then this one will go to the light switch. Same for the black. New light, old light to the switch. And then these wires will run up into the ceiling, come down over here, where then you can see these other red ones from the other series of lights over here. And then we will eventually put our switch. There's gonna be a cabinet right here. Put the light switch right there. That's how we're doing that.